The following program is brought to you by the Midas Gold Group.
This is the Gold Standard from Midas Gold Group with Kenneth Russo. Hello, I'm Dave Dino. Welcome to the Gold Standard. This is your source for secure investment opinion and information on the advantages of purchasing and owning precious metals. Whether you're a novice investor or an experienced collector, this is the program that gives you a realistic weekly perspective on the state of the economy, reliable information about using precious metals such as gold, silver, and platinum to safeguard your wealth, and remarkable details about specific precious metal coins and bullion. Ken Russo is a senior vice president at Midas Gold Group, and his peers characterize him as a straight shooter who will work harder for you than anyone else. Ken, as always, it is great to be back with you again today.
It's always a pleasure to speak to you, Dave, and our audience.
Let's talk about some of the economic news of the week, and boy, have we had a topsy-turvy week, and we'll kind of take this a piece at a time. I don't know that I've ever seen the stock market this up and down again in such a short amount of time, seeing it react so quickly to favorable or unfavorable news. Have you?
Well, yeah, it's all happened before, and the people who listen to us every week, Dave, should be expecting this. As we've been saying, there's still a lot of problems out there. I just don't understand on how many tens of trillions and hundreds of trillions of dollars that have been printed over the last couple of decades and how things could still be so fragile, and it's not going to improve as financial chaos is in our future. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that today.
It is hard to imagine that our political leaders are ever going to get their act together as far as agreeing on something for the good of the people. We see for the president's $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill, he's got problems even within his own party, so they can't move this forward. And now we have the issue of, is the government going to be funded? Is the government going to default? Will they fund them before the end of the week? Or will we run into this problem again in December? It's very tricky out there right now, isn't it?
Hey, Dave, I don't have any confidence in the political leadership of our country, and we're headed in the wrong direction. And I feel even worse about the leadership of our financial system. How on earth are these people going to lead our financial system? It does not make me feel good, and we're going to talk about that today and the need for people to do something about their situation, every single American.
Today, we're going to get very, very personal with you, Ken, because we're going to examine what makes a great gold dealer. And Ken, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to share some warning signs that investors should look for when it comes to gold dealers. But first, let's kind of set the table by asking, why is it more important than ever to consider gold?
Well, as you know, Dave, the paper markets these days are extremely dangerous. The amount of debt that's in the system is not fixable. It's enormous. It's the mother of all bubbles, and one day it will implode. It's all okay until it's not. And gold has been a way to diversify, to own something that will always have value, to hedge your bets, to preserve your nest egg. It has a long track record of having those capabilities and properties. And it's one of the reasons why it's a must for every single American today to realize how dangerous the markets are and to realize that they need to diversify a small portion of their assets for themselves and their family in physical gold.
I always think of gold as those golden eggs, those mythical golden eggs that we read about. And I want to have a lot of them in my nest to protect for the future. How much of one's nest egg should be in, let's say, physical gold right now?
Well, obviously, we've always talked about, Dave, that everybody has a different plan, and there's many different factors that go into a putting together that plan. But we believe because of the danger in the markets right now and the exponential tens of trillions of dollars that have just been created and printed out of thin air globally over the last few years, and the whole world is doing it. It's not just the Federal Reserve here in America. We think that people should be considering at least 20% of their paper assets right now moved sideways from paper, from government monitored assets, Dave, into gold. And that's because things are so dangerous out there and risky.
You're listening to The Gold Standard with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group, and today we're talking about what makes a great gold dealer. There are different types of gold. What are those different types of gold for wealth preservation?
Well, straightforward products, Dave. Most of the clients that we talk about, it fits into one of three products. Some clients that are more long-term, clients that are looking for some more undervalued products, some clients that say, hey, Ken, what's a coin that maybe is $500 or $600 less than where it was 10 years ago, while gold was at the same price as where we are today? Some of those products would be categorized as collectible coin clients or numismatic gold clients. Those are the coins that were made before 1933. So the first category of gold, Dave, is numismatic coins. The second category is bullion. Bullion could be bars or coins like American Eagles, Maple Leafs, Philharmonics, Britannias, and also bars and different fractional size bars, which are very popular these days as people are looking for mobility and possibly different ways to buy and sell their gold in smaller increments. So the second category would be bullion. The third category, briefly, Dave, would be proof coins. The most popular would be proof gold and silver American Eagles. They are qualifiable for an IRA. All of these products are good in different ways, and that's why it requires a conversation. We would encourage people to know the difference between the three categories of gold and precious metals.
Let's move a little sideways. What are the positives and maybe even the negatives of owning silver?
Well, one of the negatives is it's very heavy. It's a metal that, hey, if you're going to move 50 or 100 or, a few $100,000 into silver, you better realize that if you move around a lot or if you're going to store it, it is going to take up a lot of space, and it is very heavy. Silver is very undervalued as an industrial metal. It has many industrial capabilities with solar and electronics and alternative energy and electric cars and vehicles. Silver could be a great opportunity for that kind of person if you understand the risks and if you understand the weight of silver. Then obviously, then you're entering it with a free mind. And I would tell you that silver is undervalued, and people should consider it at this moment.
You're listening to The Gold Standard with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group, and today we're talking about what makes a great gold dealer. Again, many ads promote paper precious metal investments. Is it a good idea to purchase precious metals in paper form?
Well, I got to be honest with you, Dave. For some people, it might be, to own shares of a mining company or, ETF, which is a exchange traded fund. But for us at Midas Gold Group, we believe that true diversification requires people to take money out of the bank, out of the financial system, out of paper assets. We believe the market for paper assets is extremely risky at this point, and it's going to get much riskier. And when is the paper market going to fall apart? I don't know, 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years. Nobody knows for sure.
Okay.
But to make that move to diversify, we believe that it requires you to own gold in one way. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. We would encourage people to own their precious metals in bar and coin form in their own possession or in their own IRA. We do not endorse paper assets when it comes to precious metals.
I like having gold I can hold. Oh, and here's the question that I wanted to get to that I alluded to earlier. It is difficult to find, I think, great people when it comes to investments and especially gold. So what are some of the warning signs that investors should look for when it comes to gold dealers?
Yeah, and it's hard to find good, smart people to work with in all different types of companies, Dave. But I hate to toot our own horn over and over again, but a lot of these gold companies, they just hire a former actor or somebody who used to be popular, pay them a lot of money to go on television and do these large advertising campaigns to get people to call in. The problem with that is it costs a lot of money to do that. So the only way that you could possibly, as a company, justify those costs is you would have to have commissioned people sell very unique products to that particular gold and silver dealer at a very high markup. That's a warning sign. We at Midas Gold Group could make a living very reasonably by getting our products to move some money into assets, gold, silver, platinum, and palladium, that are liquid assets, foundational products that come directly from the mints that are not uniquely special to Midas Gold Group. So I would say if your gold dealer is asking you to purchase a product that is uniquely special to them, that would be a big warning sign for our clients.
Okay. Well, there's more to examine on this subject, getting into the nuts and bolts of how to buy gold. And we're going to do that later in our program. But first, in a moment, we're going to talk about our featured precious metal product of the weekend. It's got quite a history. You're listening to the Gold Standard from Midas Gold Group with Ken Russo.
I'm here with Midas Gold Group's senior trader and Marine Corps veteran, James Clark. James, why are people investing in gold and silver?
Well, Dr. Gorka, the Federal Reserve supplies money to pay for congressional spending. As Congress expands spending, the Fed has no choice but to keep printing money at an accelerated rate. This causes the dollar to fall and gold to increase.
So as the Fed and Congress devalue the dollar, what can people do?
As the nation's #1 veteran-owned precious metals dealer, we offer diversification strategies in the form of precious metals. As Congress looks to the Fed for more money, investors look to gold and silver to protect their nest egg.
And I recommend that you look to Midas Gold Group for all your precious metal needs. Call Midas Gold Group for their guide to owning bullion and coins today. 855-322-GOLD. That's 855-322-4653 or MidasGoldGroup.com.
And we're back with more of the Gold Standard, brought to you by Midas Gold Group with Ken Russo. I'm Dave Dino. Our topic today is what makes a great gold dealer. Well, by the way, if you live in the Los Angeles or Phoenix area, we encourage you to come visit our local office and meet with us in person. For the address and directions, just log on to our website, MidasGoldGroup.com. That's MidasGoldGroup.com. And for those of you listening in other cities, you can call us directly at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. By the numbers 855-322-4653. Now, it is time for one of my favorite portions of the program, and that's our featured precious metal product of the week. And today our featured precious metal product is the gold $20 Saint-Gaudens Double Eagle coin, 1907 to 1933. It is a tangible piece of American history. Ken, tell us about that.
Yeah, it really is, Dave. And while we're talking today, I mean, the stock markets are getting beaten up. I would urge people to be very careful with their present situation and start some plans to diversify, as this good market is not going to last forever. But the $20 Saint-Gaudens Double Eagle, Dave, is probably the most beautiful coin ever minted. President Theodore Roosevelt hired a sculptor, Augustus Saint-Gaudens, back in the 1906 period. And the goal at that time was to change the outdated Liberty look, which was used since 1838 with a new, updated, highly detailed design. And what evolved from that were very unique works of art, and they call it the $20 Saint-Gaudens. The front is just beautiful. It's a mainstay. They're known as Saint-Gaudens $20 gold coins, $20 coins, and that comes from the person who designed the coin, Augustus Saint-Gaudens.
The features here, they are really meticulous, aren't they?
It's a gorgeous coin, Dave. I mean, it comes in different qualities. I've never seen a Saint-Gaudens that I don't like, even the ones that are extremely beat up. The front features Miss Liberty holding a torch, lighting the way to freedom as dawn rises over the Capitol, and the reverse is just a great, majestic flying eagle. It's a very unique design with the $20 denomination and in God we trust on the back of the coin. These are not medallions or reproductions. These are genuine coins that were once U.S. legal tender, and once again, like I said, they were minted from 1907 to 1933. These were the 1 ounce gold coins, and they contained 0.9675 ounces, troy ounces of pure gold. They're a little browner, Dave, than a 24 karat gold coin because they did contain some copper because it was real money at that time.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to look at it. I've got one, and to look at it and realize that when this first came out, this was the real money that was in a man's pocket or in a woman's pocketbook, and this is what they would use to buy things. It's got, well, I think, a very noticeable amount of weight when you hold it in your hand.
Yeah, it does. And yeah, I forgot you had a real nice one. And you got
Hmm.
a real nice minted one too, Dave. It's
Hmm.
it's a high quality coin. And you know the old story back in 1933, there was two forms of money, a $20 gold bill and a $20 gold St. Gaudens, and both of them at that time were worth $20. And both the gold coin and the $20 bill bought a man a nice suit. If you fast forward that to today, the $20 St. Gaudens is over a $2,000 coin, which still buys a man a nice suit. So one product holds its value and its purchasing power, but the $20 bill, which bought a nice suit back in the 30s, probably couldn't buy a man a pair of socks today. So one product holds its value, and one product, like the dollar, loses its value. And we would urge people, David, instead of holding all of their money in paper, consider the $20 St. Gaudens as a way to have wealth preservation and diversification through precious metals. It's a historical coin from the U.S. Mint. It commemorates rich American history. It's a foundational, one of the most popular gold products that's on the market. You will not regret owning for your nest egg and your kids and yourself some $20 St. Gaudens.
Coming up in just a moment, we're going to continue looking at the threat to your financial well-being. This is the Gold Standard, brought to you by the Midas Gold Group with Ken Russo.
Dr. Sebastian Gorka here. Part of the so-called Great Reset from the multinational elite is to enact a digital wallet currency. Think of the implications. Time to create your own gold standard with a call to the dealer I do business with, veteran-owned Midas Gold Group, the America First precious metals experts who can help you with IRAs and more. Get your portfolio reset with gold and silver. Call Midas Gold Group for their guide to owning bullion and coins today. 855-322-GOLD. That's 855-322-4653 or MidasGoldGroup.com.
We continue now with the Gold Standard, brought to you by Midas Gold Group with Ken Russo. I'm Dave Dino. And if you live in the Los Angeles or Phoenix area, we encourage you to come and visit our local office to meet with us in person. For the address and directions, just log on to our website, MidasGoldGroup.com. MIDAS, MidasGoldGroup.com. For those of you listening in other cities, call us directly at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. If you want to write that down by the numbers, it's 855-322-4653. We're talking with Ken Russo, Senior Vice President at Midas Gold Group, and our subject today is what makes a great gold dealer. So, Ken, let's get into it. As I noted before, the nuts and bolts of purchasing gold. How does one move paper money sideways into gold?
Yeah, it's a great question, Dave, and very important and relevant to what we're talking about. And listen, there's a lot of gold companies out there that would be happy to sell people gold. But when it comes to being a great dealer, can you inform your clients? Can you be reliable to talk to them all the time? Can you be a person that could buy their products if they need or get into a situation in the future? So all of these things kind of come into play. It's all about more than just selling people gold. But if you have, let's say, a CD, a stock account, an IRA, an annuity, let's say you have some money at the bank and you're just not comfortable, and you've heard our show and you understand that you shouldn't have 100% of your assets in paper and you want to move it into gold with a reputable dealer, give us a call. We could educate you on how to do that. You send us a check, do a bank wire. We have a whole IRA department that will help you roll over an old 401k or transfer an IRA. It's a full service situation where we'll hold your hand through that process, move some money sideways into gold. If it's an IRA, it's not a taxable event. Like I said, get diversification, Dave, but do it with the right people, and we will hold their hand through that whole process. It's what we do every day, and we're privileged to do it.
Ken, my final question of the day in our get together, because it goes by all too quickly. What are some of the types then? You've talked about moving it over from paper into gold. What are some of the types of paper? You alluded to a few, but the types of paper accounts I can use to purchase my gold.
Yeah, I mean, and let's do it again briefly. It's that important. We have clients that have some annuities or CDs, money markets, cash accounts, savings, checking. We have other clients that have mutual funds, ETFs, all different types of paper assets, bonds. All of these markets, Dave, in the last 20 or 30 years, with a couple of hiccups, have done terrific. And like we've said many, many times before, if you're in the grateful position of being and have done well the last 20, 30 years, for whatever reasons, you were lucky, you were smart, you're whatever, it doesn't matter. The point is, where are we now? How can you protect and diversify some of those assets? Many people are calling us. They're very disappointed about the political leadership of this country. They are very uneasy about the money situation that they're in. They are very pessimistic about the future of the dollar, as they know the dollar is under attack. All of these assets are dollar based, Dave. If you have any of these types of assets, give us a call. We can go over a plan on how you can take some of those, move them sideways into physical gold, and hold that gold, silver, platinum yourself and get diversified.
I did come up with one additional question, and that is this. Is it better to have a few of many different coins or bullion, or to buy a lot of the same product?
Well, we believe that not only is it good to be diversified over all of your investments and asset classes, we believe that it's important to be diversified within your gold and silver products as well. Some products and some clients want to own as much metal as they can for their money. They would be a bullion investor. We have other clients that may want a coin that could appreciate a lot more than the gold or silver price itself in a good market. And they may be somebody that would want a numismatic coin or a numismatic situation. So it's good to have a mix. We have other clients that are looking for IRA accounts, and what coin can you put in there, Dave, that could have a tax advantage? And that could be a conversation about a proof gold American Eagle. So there's many different products, many different reasons to be diversified within your metals as well. And we would recommend that.
And that is going to bring us to the end of our time together today here on the Gold Standard with Ken Russo, brought to you by Midas Gold Group. A reminder, opinions given here are not intended to be specific to your investment strategy, but rather general information to give you a better understanding of investing in precious metals. For answers to your questions, call the Midas Gold Group at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. By the numbers 855-322-4653. And the website is MidasGoldGroup.com, MIDAS, MidasGoldGroup.com. The Midas Gold Group is proud to be America's #1 veteran-owned gold dealer, supporting veterans' causes with a portion of profits donated to the Wounded Warriors Project and the Semper Fi Fund. So your investment in your future is also an investment in the future of those who have bravely served the cause of freedom. Again, the number to call to speak directly with Midas Gold Group is 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. Ken, thank you again for your time today.
It's a pleasure to be with you today, Dave, and it's a pleasure to be there for our clients every day.
I'm Dave Dino. Come and join us again next week at this same time for another edition of The Gold Standard.
The Gold Standard was brought to you by the Midas Gold Group.